Belonging that can be revoked was never belonging. Members only. Palm Beach becomes useful the moment it is stripped of personalities, fashions, and plot, and treated as what it actually is, a thought system demonstration. Not 8 episodes of drama. One repeating mental structure wearing 8 costumes. This is not a critique of people, it is an autopsy of a system. The system that makes plastic feel necessary. API. Access, power, influence. Access is the primal promise. Not safety, not truth, not peace, just entry. Conditional belonging is always the first contract the ego offers. Belong, but only if. Stay, but only while. Matter, but only when approved. Access manufactures value where none exists. Once inside, anxiety replaces relief, because access that can be revoked must be defended. This is not community, it is probation. Hierarchy panic follows naturally. The crown is imaginary, but the fight is real. Hierarchies collapse without belief, so belief must be constantly reinforced. That is where panic enters. Who outranks whom? Who sets tone? Who defines what is appropriate? The crown has no weight, but everyone acts as if gravity itself depends on it. Symbolic gestures begin to feel life or death. If rank is imagined, it must be dramatized to feel real. Hierarchy panic is not ambition. It is fear with an organizational chart. Difference threatens the system because difference exposes arbitrariness. If one person violates the code and survives, the code loses authority. So nonconformity must be neutralized without admitting fear. It is reframed as impropriety, as tackiness, as desperation, as ignorance. The system never says, "We're afraid," it says, "We're concerned." Correction masquerades as care. Control wears etiquette. Fear hides behind standards. When identity is threatened, the body becomes a crime scene. Surveillance intensifies where insecurity lives. Outfits are scrutinized. Aging is policed. Exposure is moralized. This is not about modesty or taste. It is about defending an image that must not crack. Plastic does not arise from vanity. It arises from terror of impermanence in a system that worships appearance. Nobody wakes up wanting surgery. They wake up needing reassurance that access will not be withdrawn. Rituals do not heal insecurity. They decorate it. Ceremonies, titles, luncheons, fundraisers, fittings. Ritual without truth becomes camouflage. Ritual says, "See, this is legitimate." But legitimacy borrowed from form never stabilizes the mind. The insecurity remains untouched, only better dressed. That is why rituals multiply as peace declines. Specialness always demands emotional tribute. Specialness cannot exist quietly. It requires witnesses, applause, deference, affirmation, reaction. The worst fate is not criticism. It is irrelevance. There are no private minds, so visibility becomes oxygen. Being talked about becomes proof of existence. The ego would rather be mocked than ignored. When self-trust collapses, legitimacy is outsourced. Experts are hired. Etiquette is consulted. Image is curated. Credentials replace inner authority. Experts become mirrors with certificates. Their power comes from doubt, not wisdom. The more guidance required, the less grounded the identity. Everyone loses, but nobody leaves. The system produces exhaustion, resentment, paranoia, and comparison. Yet exit feels impossible. Leaving would require admitting the crown was imaginary. So the game continues. Scarcity fuels vigilance. Comparison fuels performance. Influence enforces compliance. API remains intact. The truth is always hidden in the lie. Every spectacle leaks its own confession. The ego cannot stop until it exposes itself. Conditional belonging always tells on itself. Hierarchy always panics. Specialness always demands tribute. Access that must be defended was never real access at all. That is the framework. That is the spine. Everything else is costume.